This is the sanctuary of the divine feminine, and I am Chantalie. And while we're here, is to really celebrate the divine feminine energy by staying in line with the cycles of the moon. The new moon in Libra is tomorrow, and that is what we're going to be discussing today in this live. I'm calling this the moon service because it's going to be every Monday, and we're staying in line with the phases of the moon. So, the main idea, the main thing that I want us to think about is with this new moon being in Libra, about the choices that we need to make in our life, and the choices that we need to make in our business, the choices that we need to make with relationships. And there's so much power in saying, okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a choice to do this or that instead of just letting life happen to us. Okay. So the sun has been in Libra for a while, for about a month. It's about to go into Scorpio. And during this last couple weeks, we have had the ability to kind of weigh out things, to weigh out to weigh the scales, to kind of see, do I want to go this way or do I want to go that way? With the sun being in Libra, we're kind of weighing our options. But now it's time to make a choice, okay? Now it's time to make a choice. So I am Chantalie. I'm going to be the facilitator of these divine feminine services. And I am an astrologer, I'm a tarot reader. I focus on branding and success and things like that. And I wanted to talk about a whole bunch more other things. I'm really into divine feminine energy. Has helped me get through a lot of things. I know it's helped other people. So I really want to focus on that, and so that is me. All right. So I want to go ahead and get into this so we can get started. I'm going to go ahead and pray. So, first before I do that, let me light my candles and burn some incense. And guess what? I got some new tarot cards. I got some new cards. Let me see if I can show y'all. Halloween is coming up, so I got some Hocus Pocus cards because I love them movies. I love Hocus Pocus. I love Hocus Pocus 1 and Hocus Pocus 2. They said there's going to be a Hocus Pocus 3 coming out, and I'm all for it, okay? I love me some Bette Midler, okay? And I got back some of my Oceanic cards, some of my first tarot cards that got destroyed. So I was able to get them again, and I was so happy. So that was my, like, little Christmas for myself. So now what I just do with my lighter? Let's see. What I just do with it? Don't worry, I have 1,000. Okay, let's see. Burn this up. I need to get another candle lighter. All right. Got the candle going. All right, and get the incense. I've been listening to Am I the Drama by Cardi B all morning. I know I'm late. I know I'm like a month late. But I'm just like this with music and TV shows. You can't rush me with nothing, okay? You can't rush me with nothing. And I really liked it. I know that's not the energy that we want to be on. You know, we want to vibrate higher than, a lot of rap music. But, sometimes if you're in that energy, you can get in that energy for like a minute and then rise higher if you need to. But sometimes I listen to bad B word music just to get to a certain point, and then I get to my high vibrational music. Okay, now we can pray. All right, so all right. We are grounded. Let's get grounded right now. Archangel Michael, Ogun, Mother Earth, help us to be grounded. Protect us while we go through this astrology, while we go through this tarot reading, while we go through these journal prompts. Protect us and help us stay grounded. Protect us from low energy people, spirits, messages, images, and entities. Help us connect with our higher selves. Help us connect with our angels. Help us connect with our spirit guides and spirit animals that are here for our highest good. Help us connect with our ancestors that are here for our highest good. Help us connect with Oshun and Yamaya and Lilith. Help us connect with our divine feminine energy. Okay. All right. So, I want to tell you a little bit about making choices and why I like divination so much when it comes to making choices. Okay, so sometimes it helps with two different things. It helps you connect with yourself. It kind of confirms some things you're already thinking, brings out some things that were going on, like, deep down below the surface. It helps to bring it up to the surface. It also helps you connect with other energies. Like it helps you connect with, you know, people that might have passed over. It helps you connect with um your angels, your spirit guides, spirit animals, things like that. So and then just knowing that you have help on the other side to help you make your choices and decisions, I feel like you can't beat that, and not discounting, you know, some, mentors and, people you trust to help you make decisions. But I'm going to talk about a little later how if your divine feminine energy, if you're focused on being in alignment with your divine feminine energy, you appreciate, um, you know, people helping you, but we don't really focus on, being validated from like outside sources on what kind of decisions we should make. We're not really influenced on what's going on the outside when it comes to the decisions that we need to make with our lives. Okay, so this is making choices is one of the main reasons. Making choices and decisions for myself, being more confident in them, is one of the reasons why I got into divination, tarot cards, everything in the first place. Okay, so I really love it. So let's go ahead and get into the astrology for this new moon. Okay, so the every new moon, it means you're starting a new cycle. It means you're starting something new. You can set new goals and you can set new intentions. Okay, so the new moon is, I think it starts tomorrow 8:25 Eastern Standard Time, and it's like planting a seed. And we're the whole cycle, the whole moon cycle, during the full moon, let me go back, during the first quarter moon, the full moon, the last quarter moon, we're just watching the seed grow. Okay, but this is where we plant the seed during the new moon. Okay, now, well, actually, well, I ain't gonna get into that. I ain't gonna get into that. So we're in the energy of newness. We're in the energy of newness. And the energy is in the zodiac sign Libra, which I already talked about. Libra is about being balanced, things being fair. It also has a lot to do with justice. Okay, but today I wanted to focus on how Libra has a lot to do with making a choice. You know, we've weighed out, we've observed, we've said we could make this choice on this side of Libra, or we can make this choice on this side of Libra, and now we're going to get focused on really nailing things down and making a decision. That's where the power is. Okay, so that is the newness. The choice that we make is going to create the newness during this moon cycle. Okay. Now, I do sidereal astrology. I do Vedic astrology. But I use a tropical chart. Okay. So in the part of Libra that the new moon is in is Vishika or Vishaka. And for me, Vishaka is all about having the victory in the end and fighting to have the victory no matter what. Um, and for some of us, a lot of us, we're going to have to do some shadow work because with the signs of Libra, it's not just, making this decision over here or that decision over there. It's about the two sides of ourselves. It's about our outer selves and also our shadow selves. Those two sides that we kind of need to come together so again we can make the best choice possible. So in order for us to make the best choice possible, we have to do some digging into our shadow selves and bring some things to light. I did this spread that I'm about to do for us, for myself yesterday, and it was really powerful. I almost cried, but that's okay because it was really deep, bringing up some things that were kind of suppressed for a while. So that's what shadow work is all about. And being in line with the divine feminine means you're going to have to do some shadow work. And it's not something you're afraid of. If you've done shadow work before, or inner work, whatever you want to call it, you know that the more you do it, the more powerful you feel because it causes so much transformation for the better. Okay. So that shadow work, the inner work that we do, is going to help us gain the victory. Okay. So that is the part of Libra that it's in. The planet that rules Libra is Venus. Venus is also in Libra. Okay. So this makes this time in Libra even more powerful. Something else is Venus is a planet that represents the divine feminine energy. So the section of Libra that Venus is in, according to Vedic astrology, is the nakshatra Swati. Okay. And Swati represents independence and it represents freedom. Okay. So a lot of the choices that we're going to have to make during this new moon are going to help us walk in more independence and in more freedom in general, and when it comes to our divine feminine energy. Okay, trying to take my throat chakra. Okay, got a tear right there. I see you. Okay, no, we're going to have freedom and independence when it comes to our divine feminine energy, and when it just comes to just life overall. Okay, so now the nakshatra Swati is where Venus is. That's ruled by Rahu, or some people would call it the north node of the moon. The north node of the moon is in Uttara Bhadra in Pisces. So more about shadow work, inner work. Rahu represents illusions and smoke, and so does in a way Pisces can represent, confusion or illusions or even deception. So there's a chance for us to really get in there and see what could be stopping us or holding us back. What illusions about ourselves, or mostly about ourselves, that we're going to have to look at to see how they have been stopping us from making the choices that we need to make in our life, in our businesses, and in our relationships. Okay. The last thing is Vishaka. I should have said this before, but Vishaka, where the new moon is in Libra, is ruled by the planet Jupiter, and Jupiter is in Astrology, and this is the placement that I didn't know was going to get me when I was studying it for myself, but it did. Okay, because I was born with my moon in Astrology, so a lot of stuff came up. A lot of stuff came up right here. So with Jupiter here, we have opportunities for spiritual and financial growth. But Vishaka, not Vishaka, Astrolasia, where Jupiter is it has a lot to do. It's represented by the snake, the Nagas. Okay, so we might have to heal, and we might have to heal from people in our lives who have actually been snakes to us, people who should have been loving us, because it's in Cancer, people who should have been loving us, people who should have been like family to us, they turn out to be snakes. So we might have to heal from that. We might have to do some shadow work around those people to get to our financial growth and to get to our financial abundance. And make choices around those situations. Okay. So that being said, I'm going to get into this spread that I created for us, and let me move these out the way. So this is journal questions, and this is also a tarot spread. Okay. So every question that I'm asking the cards is something that you can journal for yourself. So I'm going to do the spread. I'm going to do this new moon reading, and then at the end I'm going to ask the questions again. Okay. So I'm going to start off with my Oceanic Mermaid cards that I just got. And the first question is, what choices do we need to make? What choices do we need to make to have new experiences in our life right now? All right. Then I'm going to ask, how can our divine feminine energy experience more freedom and independence? What illusions, confusion, or fear? Oh, a lot of cards want to come out on that. I told y'all we're going to have to do a lot of shadow work. What illusions, confusion, or fear is keeping us from making the choices that we need to make in our life? Oh, so many cards just popping out. Should I keep? I'm going to, if that comes out again, I'll keep it. Usually, if it wants to come out, it's going to come out. So, okay. And how can we experience spiritual and financial growth during this moon cycle? The last question is, what is our overall advice during this moon cycle? Okay. So for the first question, we have the Nine of Wands reversed. So I'm going to clarify that. But the choices that we need to make, it has something to do with maybe not being as defensive. I feel like we always need to protect ourselves, but maybe we should, again, where the this freedom, the energy of freedom comes in with Venus being in Swati, is knowing that we're protected and not being so focused on protect, but just having the freedom, knowing the protection is there, and moving forward. Please clarify. Please clarify the Nine of Wands reverse. Okay, the Hangman. Yeah. I think we need to see our situation from a different perspective. Like I said, not needing to protect ourselves as much. Not needing to protect ourselves as much. Tell me more about the Nine of Wands reverse. Seven of, okay, this is Seven of Swords. So give me some more stuff here. Give me some more stuff. Here's a person, the King of Keys. Okay, this is the King of Keys, or the King of Pentacles reverse, being stuck. I feel like this is who we feel like we're protecting ourselves from, and also someone who we're afraid or we know is not being honest with us. For some of us, the King of Keys is the type of person who might not be good with money, might not be as grounded as they need to be. And with this, the Fool card reverse, just having that fear, the fear of feeling like they're going to do something to us, is keeping us stuck. It's keeping us from moving forward. And we really, really need to move forward so we can make the choices that we need to make. So, yeah, we can't make choices based on fear. Okay. Something Shira 7 says, Eliza, if you're afraid of something, do it. So don't let fear keep you prisoner. Don't let it keep you like stuck in just it's stuck in the feeling of, being in prison or caged in. You see how this guy right here is caged in. The Hangman also represents sacrifice. So you got to think about, what are you sacrificing by looking at this situation as, oh my God, I'm afraid this person is going to do that. I'm afraid this thing is going to do that. I'm afraid of this. And how can we see the situation as a way that we can face a new challenge, that we can let it empower us? We can make a choice to see the situation as a challenge that we can overcome, then rather than something that's going to keep us stuck from moving forward and having some type of newness in our lives. Okay, so we have to make the choice. So that's the choice. Okay, that's the choice we have to make, to not be afraid. To not be afraid. Okay, and it's going to be different for different people. This is for a collective. This reading is for a collective. It's not for a certain sign or anything. This is just a collective reading. Okay, so how can we, the second question is, how can we experience more freedom and independence when it comes to our divine feminine energy. Okay, and here we have the Ace of Swords, but he's reversed. Okay, so this is victory, but it's reversed. So I feel like a lot of us are in our heads, and I do feel like it has a lot to do with um, with Rahu being in Pisces and having such a strong connection to this new moon. You know, being having fears because we don't really know what's next. We can't see what's next. We're confused about what's next. We're afraid of what's next. We're allowing other people and ourselves to lie to us about what's next, and we're accepting that. Okay, so let's see. We want to have the victory. Okay, we very much want to have the victory, and we want to be able to see clearly and cut through all the fog, all the deception, all the smoke, all the confusion. Okay, so um let's clarify this Ace of Swords reverse. Tell me more about the Ace of Swords reverse and how we can experience more freedom and independence when it comes to our divine feminine energy. For some of us, it could be letting go of some of the lies that people have told us about what it means to be feminine, some of the lies that we told ourselves about what it means to be feminine. For some of us, I feel like I'm hearing this strong, like some of us don't even know if operating in your divine feminine energy is right, quote unquote, right, you know, or if it's right for you. Need more clarity on, some of us might need more clarity on what divine feminine energy actually is. Tell me more about this Ace of Swords reverse. Yep, this is the High Priestess, and she's reversed too. Well, she was reversed before I turned her this way. She was reversed too. So we're not connecting with ourselves. We're not connecting with the part of us that is intuitive, that um, we're not connecting with the divine part of us because of fear and confusion and lies. This is the High Priestess. Okay. So we need to connect with ourselves. Give me another one. Yep, we have to make. This is a Two of Wands. So it's more choices. It's more choices. It's a choice, making a choice to connect with ourselves, to connect with what we're passionate about. Maybe we feel like we can't, maybe some of us are feeling like we can't really, this isn't the right time to do things that drive us, to do things that we're passionate about, to do things that that fire us up. Maybe we feel like we can't do that right now. And for some of us, it could be something that's creative. Yep. We need to do something that's creative. Um, that helps us connect with our divine feminine energy. And sometimes that helps us, like we need to, that helps us clear our mental space basically. And this is what's a lot of what's going on is our mental is being affected, our minds are being affected, and doing something creative, dancing, singing, writing, that can help us clear our minds so we can make better decisions to it can clear our minds to make better decisions when it comes to our divine feminine energy. Let's see give me something else. Yeah, it's too much going on. It's too much going on in our minds. This is a 10 of swords. Sorry, my back is itching. This is a 10 of swords. So we have to lay down all these swords. The Libra, that's air. That's air energy. Um, and what can happen? Um, Libra is air energy, and also where Swati is ruled Swati where Venus is, and we're talking about Venus right now because we're talking about freeing our our divine feminine energy. She is in Swati, and Swati is ruled by Vayu, which is Lord of the air. And sometimes the they're saying with Vayu, you can have too much mental energy. It's just too much. It's too much going on. Okay, so you need air to create movement, but when it's too much air, it's stuff blowing around. Can't keep your paper still. Can't keep the can't keep the curtains closed. Stuff. Things like that. It's too much going on mentally. So we have to clear our mental space. Clear our mental space. But this to me looks like a lot of worry. A lot of worry. A lot of yeah, that's what it feels like. A lot of worry. Tell me more about this Ace of Swords reverse. So we have to reconnect. I feel like on the last couple weeks, we might have been feeling like we gotta go, 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 go. And we need to just slow down for a minute and reconnect. Independence and freedom with our divine feminine energy. Tell me more about this Ace of Swords reverse. Tower. We might, you know what? I know Tower has a lot to do with the Tower has a lot to do with things that like karma happening, like things that are just that happen that the universe makes happen. But if we don't slow down and reconnect with our divine feminine energy and free it and let her out, let her breathe, let her out, I feel like, how we're going to burn out, mentally burn out and create a tower moment. If we're operating too much worry and we're like, I gotta do this, or this is gonna happen, I gotta do this or that's gonna happen, then we're actually creating a tower moment for ourselves. We're creating fulfilling prophecies for ourselves. So we don't want to create this tower moment, but also I feel like this is because tower moments don't always have to be bad. Okay. Tower moments don't always have to be bad. So this I feel like is a way for the universe to tell you the change that you want is going to come. Just relax, rest, connect with your intuition, because you can't connect with your intuition if you're too much in your head. You just can't. You won't see the signs, you won't see the synchronicities. You're not going to be connected to yourself, which means you're not connected to the universe, and then you're not going to get the messages and the direction that you need. So just know that the change that you want is going to happen, and rest, get out of your head, stop worrying, stop fearing all these things that you're fearing. And then we have the Two of Scrolls. You have to make a choice, and this is not the overall. This is make a choice to chill out. Make a choice to chill out. Okay, make the decision. Sit your behind down somewhere. Do something that's creative. Dance, like I said, listen to music. Do something that's going to blow all that negative mental energy out, and then keep it out. Okay. Let me see. Okay. So that's how we can free our divine feminine energy. Get her out of the prison of your mind. The Eight of Swords didn't show up. But if I kept working on it, it probably would. Okay. We need to get out of this mental prison that we're putting ourselves in. Okay. All right. Now we're at the part where we need to do the shadow work. And I don't ever do shadow work without doing alchemy and transmutation. Okay, because that's where all the power is going to be. So when we do inner work or shadow work, we're not just saying what's my problem? We're looking at what the issue is, and we're getting down to the root of it. Once we get down to the root of it, then we can see how we can transform that situation for our highest good, for the goals that we're working on, so we can get what we want, so we can manifest what we want. Okay, so for what fears, what illusions, what what it was a fear and illusions are keeping us from reaching our goals. Also confusion, that's what it is. It's the Three of Swords. Some type of heartbreaking situation. So I think that um the heartbreaking situation, let's dig deeper into that. For some of us, it actually could be relationships because we've been in this Libra energy for a couple weeks because the sun has been in Libra, and Libra represents relationships. It doesn't have to be romantic because Libra represents all types of relationships. So we could have come to some type of realization about relationships, that some of us could have broken up. Some of us could just see how some people in our lives aren't as good for us as we thought they were. Some of them might have showed us that, they're not as good for us as we thought they were. Um, and we just been experiencing heartbreak, and it's affecting our minds, which is also not good for that divine feminine energy to be freed like she needs to. So tell me more about this. Tell me more about this Three of Swords and this heartbreak. Yeah, this heartbreak is causing us not to be able to see things like we need to, or maybe we're focused so much on the heartbreak and not seeing how this situation, again going back to the hangman, seeing things from a different perspective, how it could be good that we are seeing things for what they are now, so that it can help us in the future. Tell me more about the Three of Swords and what fears, confusion, and illusion could be keeping us from making the choices that we need to make. Maybe you're not making some type of choice because you don't want to create heartbreak. You don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. You don't want to do something that could hurt you as well. That's a very difficult choice to make, but sometimes we just have to do what we have to do. Tell me more about this Three of Swords. The Tower, and it was reversed when it came out. So we're resisting a tower situation, which means you already know. You already know that you're resisting some big change. And the more you procrastinate on making this choice that could be heartbreaking, or accepting this heartbreaking situation, it's possible you're making it even worse. Okay? Yeah, and then you're keeping yourself. Come on, cards. Come on, cords. You need to focus on yourself. Okay? Focus on self-love. And that sometimes that's how you can heal. But I was trying to get to this card right here. This Three of Cups. If we don't go ahead and accept this heartbreaking energy, or do take the action that we need to take that we feel could be too heartbreaking to make, and then go through the process of healing, then we can get to the Three of Cups where we can celebrate. You're delaying the celebration by resisting the Tower moment. It's going to happen whether you want it to happen or not, and you don't want it to happen. Sometimes you got to rip the band-aid off now because you don't want it to happen like 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now. It's going to happen, so you might as well rip the band-aid off and do it now. Go through the process of healing, go through the process of your going through your self-love journey, so you can get to the Three of Cups, your celebration. With this is a whole different three than the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords is heartbreak. This Three of Cups is like an emotional connection that you can have with people who are who see you, who celebrate you, who enjoy you. Why would you? We don't want to resist this to stay with something that is heartbreaking, that's breaking your heart. Okay. I want to know a little bit more about I want to know a little bit more about this Three of Swords. Tell me some more about this Three of Swords. And this is what's keeping us from making the choice that we want. The fears, the confusion, the illusions that is keeping us from making the choices that we need to make. It's heartache. Being afraid of it and not accepting it, resisting change because of it. Tell me more about this Three of Swords. Ooh. And something else about Vayu, the god that rules Swati, where Venus is, they're saying that, and when I was going back and studying what Swati represents, is too much air, which is too much stuff going on in your mind, can make you sick. It creates a lot of diseases that it creates a lot of diseases. If I don't know if anybody knows about, some of you I'm pretty sure that are listening know about Ayurveda, but in Ayurveda it talks about Vata, Vayu, and Vata. And it's how too much air, too much mental energy creates diseases in our bodies. So we want the air to be flowing, right? But we don't want to be storing it. Okay? Yep. We are keeping ourselves from ending a phase in our lives. This is the World card and it's reversed. So it's like we have been doing the work to finish something, to complete something, but we've worked and worked and worked until we got to this phase where we don't want to make the choice, or we're afraid to make the choice that's going to go ahead and push us to complete the cycle and go back to the Fool. And the Fool is out here with the choice that we need to make. The Fool is, where you go, Fool? And the Fool is reverse. This autism represents the Fool. Okay? We have to complete the world, the energy of the world, so we can get to the Fool and turn him upright so we can move forward. Okay? And guess what? Also, it's keeping us from some type of new money decision with the Ace of Keys reverse. Okay? So if we wanted Libra, like I said, it's relationships, but it's also business. Okay? And our businesses help us make money. So if we're so stuck on, oh, I don't want to accept that this person is like that, or I don't want to accept that I have to make this choice that's going to hurt somebody or it's going to hurt me. You don't want to keep resisting this tower moment, because you're also resisting your wealth and you're resisting your abundance. Okay? And when you're able to connect with your divine feminine energy, you're also able to connect with your abundance. But it's like I said, that too much, that being in your head, that's what's keeping you from getting what you want and ending this cycle. The moon card, okay? This is clarity. A lot of Now, some people think that divine feminine energy is like makeup and shopping and wearing pink, and a lot of it has to do with being honest with yourself, because you can't do inner work and shadow work without being honest with yourself. And once you're honest with yourself, you have to take accountability for yourself and making the changes that you want to make. And that's not always pretty, it's not always easy. But how bad do you want what you want? You have to let go of some things that are hurting you to get to what you really want. And even though this situation might be difficult, you're going to be rewarded, because Saturn rules Uttara Bhadra, where Rahu is. And this is the section that we're tapping into. This Rahu, or north node of the energy, north node of the moon in Pisces energy. The nakshatra that the north node of the moon is in is Uttara Bhadra. That's ruled by Saturn. Saturn is also in Pisces. Okay. And what Saturn does is it rewards you for doing the difficult things. Okay. So, like I said, make the choice. It's going to be difficult. Stop resisting this tower moment. It's okay. If you already know you're going to have to heal, go ahead and heal. You know you're going to have to love yourself more than you ever love yourself. Fine. It's no problem with that, because it's going to get you to that Three of Cups energy. It's going to help you with your new beginning and some type of abundance. It's going to help you close out the phases of your life that you need to close out. And you'll be able to see things clearly, so you can make more choices that you need to make. Okay? So, we got to do what we got to do. All right? What do we need to know about the financial and spiritual growth that we have the ability to experience during this new moon, with Jupiter being exalted in Cancer in the nakshatra Astrology? Right here we have the Four of Swords reversed. Okay, so after the Three of Swords, sometimes the Three of Swords, the energy of heartache and heartbreak, it can knock us down, make us feel like we have to heal, which is okay. Okay, but in order to get to more financial abundance, this is confirmed when I was talking about the Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Keys being reversed. We have to get out of that heartbreak, that heartache energy, and move forward. Start to move forward, okay? With the Four of Swords reversed. Tell me more about the Four of Swords reversed. That's what's going to help us get to our spiritual It's a whole bunch of inner work that we're going to have to do. A whole lot of shadow work. Learn as much as you can about transmutation. I've been watching this lady named, I think her name is Alexia Gigi. Recently she did a video about 2 or 3 weeks ago about, was it an alchemy cheat code or a transmutation cheat code? Look that up, because she goes step by step on how I think it was a transmutation cheat code. Look up alchemy cheat code or transmutation cheat code, and Alexia Gigi. She talks a lot about divine feminine energy, because there's a lot of transmutation that we're going to have to do to heal from this heartache, this heartbreak, so we can get to our spiritual and financial growth. But like I said, with Saturn having so much to do with it, we're going to be rewarded. Saturn is a heart teacher, but it's also a teacher that rewards. Tell me more about this Four of Swords reverse. Page of Pentacles. Now it's reversed. Now it's upright. This Page of Pumpkins is a Page of Pentacles. Okay. Now with the heartbreak, it was reversed. With the spiritual growth and spiritual and financial growth, now it's upright. Look at the celebration. Hey, getting that money. All right. Hey. So watch out for ideas that come. Look for ideas that come when you're able to transmute all that heavy heartache feeling. Okay. And then we have the Seven of Potions, but it's reversed. So we'll be able to see things clearly, just like I said. I just said that, didn't I? We'll be able to see our options clearly, our opportunities. We'll be able to see them clearly. And then look, the Ace of Swords was reversed too. Now he's upright. We'll have a lot of new beginnings, a lot of new opportunities. Let me tell you about, so this new moon is tomorrow, October 21st. But last week was the last quarter moon, or the waning moon. And the waning moon was actually conjunct Jupiter. And this is what we're focusing on. And the main message I got for the waning moon, which was a week ago, and this is something that a lot of us still might need to do, is focus on what do you need to let go of so you can get more opportunities, more blessings. Because when the moon and Jupiter are together, those are two benefic planets. Jupiter is benefic, and the moon takes on the energy of the planet that is with. So the moon and Jupiter together during the waning moon means you get more blessings and more opportunities. But with it being in the waning moon period, we have to release things, we have to let go, we have to send things away from us. Which for us, I'm seeing is this heartache, this heartbreak situation that the sun in Libra this last couple of weeks probably brought on. But it didn't bring it on to hurt us. It's so we can see it and release it and let it go so we can get more opportunities. Okay? I want to clarify again because I like to go a little deep. Tell me more about this Four of Swords for how we can gain more spiritual and financial growth. Yeah, we'll be able to see a lot of things more clearly, a lot of opportunities. It's like you'll be able to see how this, like I was saying, it's just like I was saying, you'll be able to see things from a different perspective, not as a You'll be able to see things less as a victim, more like a victor. Which, and I was talking about how you can have the victory with the part of Libra that the new moon is in is Vishaka, which has a lot to do with getting the victory at all costs. At all costs. Tell me more about this Four of Swords reverse. Rewards, victory, Six of Swords, Six of Wands. I mean, this card represents a Six of Wands. Victory. Okay, but this King of Scrolls is right here, and let me tell you, this almost cussed. This this dude might be at the root of all the heartbreak. So the King of Swords reverse. He's a person. Also, we're talking about swords, which we're still dealing with the mind, the mental energy. Okay. Now, this person is a dude that could be harsh with his words. And the King of Swords, like there's no male or female in tarot, but this is a male energy, a masculine energy. And, males and females can have that. But this person can be harsh with their words. They can think that they're smarter than everybody. So because they're smarter than everybody, they might think that they can mentally manipulate people. Okay? It's this type of energy. And because we're looking at Jupiter for women can represent your husband or your long-term partners. So releasing the energy of the King of Swords reverse, whether it's in us or whether we've encountered it in other people. Somebody might have said something to you that hurt you, that cut you deep, that affected you mentally, or it could have been, somebody that just talks like this, just acts like this. If this is a past person, we need to cut cords. Okay? Because Libra is about justice, right? And in all these, I'm thinking about too many things. The Justice card mainly has an image of a woman with a big sword that is able to cut things, to cut cords, to cut things out. The air energy that's very strong in most tarot decks is represented by swords. Okay? So we might need to cut cords in order to get the spiritual growth and the financial growth that we need. We might want to cut up or dissolve contracts with people who are like this, spiritual contracts with people who are like this. Look within yourself. Make sure that there's not a part of you that's like this in you. Are you speaking harshly to other people? Are you a know-it-all? Do you feel like you can manipulate people mentally? Do you speak harshly to yourself? Are you critical of yourself? Are you the King of Swords to yourself? You got to cut that out to get to your blessings and your opportunities, to get to your spiritual growth, to get your financial growth. He almost made me say some bad words. Yep, you're missing out on opportunities by not doing things that you're passionate about. You're not going to see the opportunities. Just like I said, You have to move all that mental energy out of your body by doing something creative, something that you love to do, something you could be connected to emotionally with this Cups energy. Because you're not going to see the opportunity if you're stuck in your head, if you're stuck in your mind. You're going to miss it. Okay? You're gonna miss it. Okay, so now our overall advice: King of Cups, reverse. I mean, not King of Cups, Page of Cups, Knight of Cups, reverse. Okay. let's do some clarifying. Tell me about this. Tell me more about this Knight of Cups reverse for our overall energy for the new moon. So this is the last question I'm going to clarify. Then hopefully you'll get your paper and your pen or whatever you journal on, and we're going to ask these questions specifically to ourselves, because like I said, this is a general reading for the collective of the divine energy, divine feminine energy. But we're going to ask these questions to ourselves. Okay, tell me more about the Page of Cups reverse. Okay. Ooh. This is the Ace of Wands with this reverse. Okay. This is the Page of Candles. We have to really connect to our passions. And this is the Six of Pentacles, which is money, which is financial rewards. Okay. So we really have to drop out of our heads and get into what we're passionate about. Start moving. Yeah, that's something else I wanted to tell y'all about. Vayu, Swati, where Venus is. Venus is in Swati. Swati is represented by the shoot. It's like a new little piece of grass that's just bursting out of the ground, and you know how flexible it is. You know, it's moving with the wind, going with the wind. It's not, it's not resisting anything. It's just, just like I was saying, there's some type of dance, some type of exercise, some type of movement. That's what Swati is all about. That's how we can connect to our divine feminine energy, because that's where Venus is. Okay, by incorporating some type of movement, and it doesn't have to be exercise, it could be dance, but we have to be moving our bodies in some type of way to connect with our divine feminine energy, to experience that freedom and that independence that we need with our divine feminine energy. We have to move during the next 28-30 days. Well, we need to be moving every day, but it's a real serious focus on it during this moon phase for the next 28-29 days. Okay. Tell me more about this Page of Cups reverse. While I'm clarifying this, Alexa Gigi again, she did a new moon video where she was talking about the new moon in Libra and how it's good for glamour spells and glamour magic. So you might want to look into that. And it really is because of the placement of how Venus is connected to the south node of the moon in Pisces. And that's all about illusions and, things like that. Claire Nocti. Now I'm just going a YouTube library today. Claire Nocti did a couple videos on the nakshatra Swati, and I love her videos because she gets really deep into them, and she uses actors and actresses and movies and works of art to explain how the meaning of a lot of nakshatras. You can learn a lot about how the divine feminine energy might come up for you in your life during this moon phase, during this the next 28 to 29 days. by learning more about the nakshatra that is in, which is Swati. So look up Claire Nakti and Swati, and she has a lot of I won't say a lot, but I think 2 or 3 videos about it. All right. Okay, the magician. Okay, it's taking control. Taking control, knowing we can create the life that we want. Do things in a way that is not traditional, which makes sense with Venus being in a nakshatra that's ruled by Rahu, because Rahu does not do things in a traditional way. Rahu likes to do things that are different, that are out of the box. So take control of your life. Do things in a way that you feel like you need to do. And also, if you feel like making this heartbreaking decision that you need to make, if you need to go ahead and grieve, go ahead and grieve. Go ahead and grieve the end of this relationship or the end of whatever. Because with every beginning, there's an ending. Allow yourself to grieve and transmute all that energy into, not to be insensitive, but transmute all that energy into your goals, into what you want. Okay? With the Knight of Cups reverse, there's going to be some offers that you used to accept. There's going to be some things that people trying to get you to do in the past. And the past could be yesterday, the past could be 5 years ago, that you're not going to be able to do anymore because of these new choices that you're making for your life. Okay? So you're going to have to grieve that part of you is gone. You're going to have to grieve being able to move in the way that you used to move. Because once you become accountable and responsible during this, while you do this inner work and say, okay, those are the choices that I was making that was keeping me away from my goal. So now that I know, because I'm being honest with myself, because I can see clearly what I was doing, now that I know, if I go ahead and still make those choices that were keeping me from reaching my goal, then I'm betraying myself. I'm not living myself. So you're going to have to grieve that part of you is gone. And you just cannot continue to do those things anymore, because once you know, and the universe knows then, karma can work sometimes karma can work in ways where it can reward you. When somebody did something to you they shouldn't have done, it'll reward you by, giving you things that you need, punishing that person. But karma also works on you if you are doing things that betray yourself, that go against yourself, that go against what you have to take accountability and responsible for. Then the universe will reward you by giving you more of what you're accepting, even though you shouldn't accept it. So you'll keep experiencing those situations that keep you confused and keep you from moving on in new phases of your life, that keep you in illusions, not seeing the truth. And in the end, it's going to keep you from even trusting yourself, which is far from a high priestess energy that we need to be going to. So take control of your life. With the magician has all the tools that she needs to move forward and do what she needs to do. She has to just accept them and take control and use them in the way that she feels like she should best use them at the time. Okay? So let go of doing things the way that you used to do them, and then that's going to lead you to more opportunities, more financial rewards, to do things that you're more passionate about. Okay? So now we're at the journaling part. So, like I said, this was the general part. This is the collective part. So, if you have a pen and paper, I want you to ask these questions to yourself. What is the main choice I need to make for my life, my business, or my relationships right now? And be honest with yourself. What the second question is, how can my divine feminine energy experience more freedom and independence right now? The third question is, how are fears, illusions, and confusion keeping me from making the choice I know I need to make? Fourth question is, how can I experience more spiritual and financial growth? Okay, now while I'm putting up these cards, I want to tell you 3 ways that you make choices if you are in alignment with your divine feminine energy. Okay, one of the ways is honoring the cycles of the moon and honoring your individual cycles. Okay, so women are connected to the moon because of our cycles resemble the cycles of the moon, and the moon represents our light feminine energy. So we can follow the moon to help us understand how we can best make choices. So if you're following the moon right now, then you're going to understand, okay, so the new moon is tomorrow, October 21st. So a way that I can make a choice is make a choice to set new intentions, to set a new goal, because that's what you do on new moons. Okay? Now your individual cycle, it depends on, when during which cycle of the moon does your moon period start? Does your moon time start? Okay, so my moon time starts during during the waxing moon. So during the waxing moon, I'm kind of having my new moon or my new moon phase. Okay, so I have to keep that in mind when I'm making my choices, when I'm making my decisions for my life. They call that a pink moon. So you have to kind of know yourself and know the cycles of the moon, went to know what choices to make when you're in your divine feminine energy. Now, another thing is, when you're making your choices, if you're in alignment with your divine feminine energy, you're not making choices based on what other people want you to do. If you're connected with yourself, then you trust yourself. You are connected to your intuition. You know what you need to do. You just need to take action on it. You might need a little bit more clarity on it, you know, and that comes with the tools that we already have. How can you get more clarity or this or that? But we're not saying, well, this person wants me to do this, so this is a decision I'm going to make for myself and for my life. Divine feminine energy does not do that. You trust yourself because you know yourself. That's a part of that's the part of why you do all this inner work and shadow work, so you can know yourself and trust yourself. So you make decisions based on that. And you're not um like you're just not going, to allow what other people want for you to determine what you do for your life. Okay. Let me see. It was one more thing I wrote down. I don't want to forget that. I don't want to forget it. Start singing. I start singing sometimes out of nowhere. Um, yeah, you don't make choices based on fear. So yeah, what I was saying for the other thing is you make your choices from the inside out, not from the outside in. Okay. And you don't make choices like I was saying before. You don't make choices because you're afraid this is going to happen or you're afraid that is going to happen. You don't make choices based on that. You make choices based on, and I'm not saying that you ignore important things. Uh, you don't that you ignore reality. Sometimes you do ignore reality. Sometimes you do gotta ignore it, but you make your choices based on what you know you have to do for you, not because you're afraid of something or someone. You cut all that fear out when you during the decision and choice making process. I'm not saying don't have a contingency plan, but we're not making our choices based on fear. Okay. So that is what I wanted to share with you today during this new moon. If you need help, like I was saying in the beginning, I love divination to help me make choices, to help me connect in on, what's going on with me. If I need to go deeper, and it's not in the front of my brain. Sometimes I need to dig into my subconscious, and sometimes, doing readings helps you. Divination, doing readings and astrology helps you dig into what's going on in your subconscious mind. It also helps you connect to the universe, and it helps you answer questions that way. So if you still need help making the choices that you need to make, uh, choices for anything that might be coming up soon or in this new moon cycle for the next 28, 29 days, then my information, my email is in the description. You can email me for a reading. One question is $25 for right now. So that's what's going on there. Okay. So to recap, get all that mental energy out of your body. Move your body. Do something that you're passionate about. Do something that's creative. Let go of what you need to let go of. And that's what's going to help you during this new moon. All right? So, thank you for being with us, angels, spirit guides, spirit animals, ancestors. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for helping us connect with you. Thank you for helping us connect with ourselves. And thank you for helping us be able to connect with our divine feminine energy and everything that we learned today. All right. So I look forward to talking to you during next Monday. Next Monday, we'll be focusing on the waxing moon, what's going on with the waxing moon. I'm going to try to post something every day so we can connect with the moon moving forward, so we can know what's going on with the moon every day as we move, forward during this cycle. Because I need more subscribers, I need more likes. So like, share, and subscribe. Comment on anything, any aha moments that you might have had during this moon service, or any questions that you have. And also don't forget to Let me know if you need a reading to help you get a better understanding of the choices that you need to make or more clarity. All right. All right. See you next Monday.